Okay, so once again, good evening all. Welcome to the day 50th of our UGC-NET paper 1 class. And today we are entering our both chronologically and numerically our final unit, that is unit 10 of our total UGC-NET paper 1 class. So that is higher education system. And in today's class, we will cover the topics of institutions of higher learning and education in ancient India, and then evolution of higher learning and research in post-independence India. So we will be covering these two topics today, and tomorrow these two, and next day it would be the other two topics. So without further ado, moving on. Ancient education system in India. So see, most of us have a rough idea on how our own scripts or scriptures, which we have in any of language, any other languages or any religion. So we do have our own scriptures or ancient language writings. That is how best to say that has come up in the various eras. So we do have some understanding how all those things work. So now I think most people, I don't know if I can talk about those things in class still, as we are research scholars, I want everyone to consider my own point of view in a research oriented approach. Please don't take any other form that is politically or something. If you feel that, I'm sorry for that. So the thing is, now there is a huge debate on the implementation of languages and which language comes first, which language goes next. So all those things, there is a very big debate happening. Each one or each individual takes pride in their own language, so that they are arguing theirs is a unique language. So even though there are certain facts and so many things presented, people try to negate that fact. So here, now we as a scholars, so we have to understand the education system and approach it as a review of literature to gain the knowledge. So our own Indian ancient Indian system of education is dating back to a millennia. So it is a reflection of the intellectual heritage and glorious past of the Indian subcontinent. So in one of my earlier classes in here in Naragappa University, I asked the students about their own views on Mahabharata and Ramayana. So I am again posing the same question here. You guys answer it. So you guys do have, either you might have watched in the TV series, movies or whatever, you might have an idea on the whole story of Mahabharata and Ramayana. So now, taking the concept of Mahabharata, can you or can someone from this group clearly identify the age group of the Pandavas and Kauravas during the battle of Kurukshetra? So can someone say? மகாபாரத கதை கண்டிப்பா நீங்க எல்லாம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. So Kurukshetra போர், the war of Kurukshetra, what were the age group of all the Pandavas and Kauravas? Can someone say?
35.
So now I am posing another question. How do you arrive at the conclusion of 30 to 35?
Because they are all married and they have completed brahmacharya of 25 years, maybe, I don't know. I just
okay. So but so what about others? Jivabadi ma'am and Suganya ma'am, உங்களுடைய கருத்து என்ன? Are you agreeing with Jatin, or you have some other opinion?
I agree with Jatin, sir. So nearly 30.
So உங்களோட opinion எப்படி நீங்க how come you arrive at 30 to 35? So he is saying the all the marriage thing and
அவங்களுக்குலாம் சன்லாம் இருந்தாங்க.
okay.
வனவாசம் போயிட்டு வந்தாங்க சார்.
ஓகே, ஐ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். அப்ப அங்க அதுல வந்து இன்னொரு கொஸ்டின் வருது. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் த ஸ்டார் விஜய் வெர்ஷன் ஆஃப் மகாபாரதா, அதாவது ஹிந்தில இருந்து டப்பிங் பண்ணுது. இன் தட் த both what to say Duryodhana and Karnan and all those characters, they are having kids at the marriageable age. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு 35னா எப்படி கிட்ஸ் வந்து மேரேஜபிள் ஏஜ்ல இருப்பாங்க? மினிமம் 17 ஆர் 15 வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், 15ஆவது இருக்கணும்ல. ஸோ 20 years difference வந்து is it possible? So I am asking that.
No,
okay,
no,
so
I forgot to respond that actually.
So okay, let's not totally deviate. Now why am I asking is, see, according to there are not many exact details about their age group, but still during the period of Kurukshetra war, each and every Gaurava and Pandava, the main characters, that is the 5 Pandavas and 100 Kauravas, Karna and all those people, they are around 80 to 85 years old. 80. So do you know why? So but our TV series and all those people, they are depicting them as a young fit people, no? So why there is a big contrast there? See,
I think because of the
yes, because of you continue, Jatin, you continue.
Concept called historiography, where we how we mention history in a text is influenced by the current socio-political situations.
Okay, so I do get your point, but here I want to say something. The thing is, what you are saying is absolutely right, and it is happening right now. But here, the very core point, many people do not understand, or might not, they may just neglect that. See, there is a concept in the particularly Hinduism. Actually, each and every religion and country has their own concept still. Since we are talking about India and the majority of the religion is Hinduism, I am strictly confining it to that. So there in the Hinduism, there is a concept called Hindu metrics of time. So we do have our own metrics of measurement of time. So in actually I don't know what is exactly in Hindi and Sanskrit, but in Tamil we Naligai we used to say, in my hometown Satanari Sumar, like that we will say. So Naligai. So Naligai is I think it is around 8 to 10 minutes. I am not exactly sure. Please verify that. Whereas we will say Mandalam. One Mandalam means it is 48 days. So similarly, you know about yugas, no? Yugangal pati theriyundana. Jatin, you heard of yugas, no? Kali Yuga and all those things.
Yes.
So see, there is a one big concept. Simply, actually, I'm totally deviating. Still, I want to clarify this because see, there are 4 yugas. First is Kreda, second is Treda, third is Dwapara, fourth is Kali. So Kreda, Treda, Dwapara, Kali, and we are right now, according to Hindu mythology, we are right now in Kali Yuga. So the previous yuga is Dwapara Yuga. At that time only Mahabharata happened, and prior to that is Treda Yuga. That time only Ramayana happened. So like this, the cycles it continues. So each and every yuga has certain number of years. Actually, it is more like million years, like that. So I think one Kali Yuga is equal to 420,000 years. So that is one full cycle of Kali Yuga according to Hindu mythology. So what here I want to say is the main thing. According to these 4 yugas, the age group of each human, not age group, the lifespan of each individual living at one particular yuga varies. So you just consider, I think, in Kreda Yuga, each individual, the one human is living in Kreda, that is first Yuga. They are living means their total lifespan is 1 lakh years. Then moving on to next Treda Yuga, you just cut down one cyber, so that would be 10,000 years. One human lifespan is 10,000 years. Then moving on to Dwapara Yuga, again you cut down 1 0, so one human lifespan is 1,000 years, 1,000 years. Then again moving on to Kali Yuga, you cut down again another 1 more 0, you get 100 years. So in Kali Yuga, at the beginning of Kali Yuga, one human lifespan would be 100 years. By the time it ends near the end of the Kali Yuga, no, the lifespan would be reduced to 20 years. So by that time, when the Kali Yuga ends, according to Hindu mythology, it will be at most all the sinful deeds would be in high pitch and a high amount of time. So people, the women will get pregnant at the age of 8 itself. So according to Hindu mythology, it is like that. So it is, I don't know whether this is true or acceptable or not, but still we might see that our grandparents and their own great grandparents and all, they lived up to 100 and above years. Now the lifespan is reducing, and somewhat when we were children, at that time the thing we talked these and all bad things or this and all taboo, like that they will say no. Now those things become normal. So the thing goes on. Now coming back to the question of Mahabharata. So just consider, if a human lifespan is 1,000 years, then when they are 80 years, so they will look like very younger people only. They will not, when compared to the whole difference, no, almost 920 years are remaining. So they will look very, very lot younger in that period. That's why the scriptures, when depicting those Pandavas and Kauravas in the other shows, they tried to depict exactly at the time. So there won't be much difference, no, in the age or facial features, anything, the hair on that and all. That's why those people will look like younger people nowadays, like 20, 30, 35, that age group. This is the reason why it was depicted like that. So here, now the whole basic ideology of Hindu metrics of time has been embedded in this particular scriptures, but most of us doesn't know the presence of it, or else we totally neglect it. That is the main problem which we have. We as a researchers, we should focus on how should we gather all the intel, all those things are there. So do you get my point? உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சுதா? Are you guys clear? Yes?
Yes, Vivek.
Okay, and one more thing in Mahabharata itself, one more thing is there, that is called time dilation. So I don't know, you guys have seen Interstellar movie directed by Christopher Nolan. There the people would go to different planet, so that due to gravity, the time difference for them with the earth would be drastically different. This particular concept was first introduced or applied in the Mahabharata, because Mahabharata is around written around 500 or something BC, not I don't know exact date, so but it is in BC, before Christ. So at that time itself they have applied this time dilation concept. So where a king called Kakudmi, who wants to marry his daughter to a very well known like a prince or something. So but due to not unsatisfaction, they are going to meet Lord Brahma to ask him for the suggestion to select the proper candidate. When they go there to the Brahmaloka, from Bhuloka to Brahmaloka, Lord Brahma was in some the culturals, the songs that will be there, no? So he would be in that. So they will be waiting for Lord Brahma to finish that only for 5 minutes outside the door. So when Lord Brahma comes out of the that Sangeet or something, when he comes out, the Lord Brahma will ask, why are you here? They will say, we have come with the list of candidates to get a suitable husband for my daughter. Like that, the guy Kakudumi will say. But Brahma will laugh it off. Then they will be puzzled, why are you laughing? So he will say that, the meantime you have been waiting here the 5 minutes in the Bhuloka, that is in the earth, almost several Chatur Yugas has gone. Chatur Yuga means one full cycle. The 4 Yugas are there now. So Kreda, Treda, Dwapara, Kali. So here in Bhuloka, several Chatur Yugas have gone, completed. Time runs differently based on the planes of existence. So the list of candidates which you have brought up, even their descendants itself have perished. So you might not find anyone there like that. Upon astonishment, they will go and search in the world. The Bhuloka, the geographical structure would be changed, and at that time, Brahma will suggest Lord Vishnu as incarnated as both Krishna and Balarama. You marry your daughter to Balarama. Like that, this particular story will link with the Mahabharata. So, time dilation and all these advanced scientific concepts which have been applied and used in the ancient scriptures. So now, apart from the debate whether it is true or not, even if it is a story, when you are writing something, if you are not having any kind of basic idea of what it is, you cannot utilize in the writing. So this shows that the people at that time, the people living at that time, or the people who wrote the Mahabharata, they did have the ideology of what is time dilation and what is all these time concepts, all these things they had idea. But when it is translated, or like Jatin said, the successive years, it has transformed into something totally different and misunderstood and misinterpreted, so that the core concept was totally negated. So here, that's why they are saying it was rooted in ancient text, philosophical treatise and cultural ethos that comprised the foundation of knowledge and scholarship in disciplines like mathematics, astronomy and medicine, philosophy. So each thing we can cover a whole story. So this is what the ancient education system in India, what it did. So the first thing was Gurukul system. These are the features. And then the subjects taught. So mostly medicine and martial arts. So these things were primarily taught, and some other things like what are all different kinds of skills, the 64 skills they will say, all those things would be taught. And then moral and character development, how an individual should be developed and grown into a man, like that. The moral concepts and all would have taught in that Gurukul system. Then teaching methods. Every student would be taught, apart from the basic concepts, each and every student would be taught with a different teaching methodology and a different ideology. That's where it differs. And then free and open to all. So it does not categorize so many things. Still, there are certain things, I don't know how best it applies. Still, most of the places where they are trying to complete each and everything. So these are the features of ancient education system. Now objectives. So there were certain universities during the, I think now we are in 2025. So just assume around 1700 or 1800 at that time and all, there were certain universities formed in and around the India. So these universities were called Vedic universities. Why? Because their objectives was to preservation of Vedic text. That is a Vedangal. Othervana, Sama, Yajur, Rig, all these Vedas, no? These four Vedas, they are trying to preserve the quality of that, and they are trying to adhere to the whatever being taught in those Vedas. Then propagation of Vedic wisdom. People were taught primarily the Vedic wisdom, and then education and training, then scholarship and research, and then promotion of Sanskrit language. Why? Because all these Vedic texts and other wisdom were primarily in the Sanskrit language. That's why the Sanskrit language was promoted highly. Then cultural and spiritual development, and then propagation of Ayurveda and Vedic sciences. So these were the objectives of Vedic universities in India, in ancient India. Now we have actually, I have limited to only a few set of universities. There were so many universities which are there. You please go through in the bibliography. So first, common main universities were only studied here. First is Takshashila University, that is in Takshila. Then Nalanda University, and then Vikramashila, Odantapuri, Vallabhi, Mithila, Ujjain, Kanchipuram or Kanchi. So these were the universities, were the prominent universities. Now moving on to Takshashila. So Takshashila, it is an early Buddhist center of learning, dates back to the 6th century. So according to some scholars, it dates back to 6th century. So where it is there, it is in Punjab, but that particular Punjab is in the Pakistan in present day. So it is believed that Kuru prince Duryodhana, the Duryodhana, that guy only, Gauravas. So he laid the foundation. Then features. Takshila's main ruins are separated into three major cities, Hathial, Sirkap and Sirsuk, each representing a distinct period. So there is one more thing. The Arthashastra written by Chanakya is said to be composed in the Takshashila. The Chanakya, Chandragupta Maurya and Ayurvedic healer Charaka all studied in Takshashila. So because of its strategic location, many empires vied for its control. That means they wanted to take control of this particular university. So this particular city, that is the Takshila city, faded into obscurity and was eventually destroyed by the nomadic Hunas in the 5th century. See here, this is 6th century BC, and the next 5th century BC it was destroyed. So next, Nalanda University. This one we all have a basic idea, because this was primarily told because of this guy, the Swansan. So it is an ancient center of higher learning located in the ancient kingdom of Magadha, which is presently in Bihar, is one of the India's oldest universities. So this one is 5th century AD in Rajgriha, which is in Bihar. So this one survived until 1197. Now, then the Kumaragupta first, which is the Gupta emperor, he was the founder of this, and it comprises of stupas, shrines, viharas, as well as notable stucco, stone and metal artworks. So this is the birthplace of Gautama Buddha's favorite disciple, Sariputta. So many other, see the Chinese scholars, I Sing or Huan Shuang visited Nalanda University in the 7th century CE. So that's how this one is prominent. Next, Vikramashila University. This is also considered one among the best universities since the ancient ages. So it is situated in Bhagalpur, Bihar, on the top of the hills of the river Ganges, banks of the river Ganges. So it trains the Tantric Buddhism. So King Dharmapala of the Pala dynasty founded this particular university in the later 7th century. So here Taranath, a Tibetan scholar, was the first to record its existence under the name of Vikramashila Mahavihar. So what are all the features? During ancient period, a temple stood in the center of Vikramashila University. A life-sized replica of Mahabodhi tree is housed in this temple. So the Bodhi tree, they life-sized replica were found in this temple. The main feature of the site has been a central stupa. So the walls of both terraces are adorned with terracotta panels, many of which have been destroyed. So Bhaktiar Khilji, who destroyed Nalanda University, destroyed Vikramashila University in 1203 CE. So again, we will be seeing so many universities, so I am just going rapidly, please mind with that. So next is Vallabhi University. This one is located in Gujarat, that is Vallabhi, modern day Bhavnagar or Bhavnagar. So this one mainly an important Buddhist learning, which is the cause of Hinayana Buddhism between 600 AD to 1200 AD. So Gunamadi and Sthiramadi, two great Buddhist academists are supposed to have graduated from this university. So the people destroyed this university are Arabs in the 8th century. Next, Odantapuri University. This is according to Tibetan records, or in our own language, Udantapura was and again this is a important Buddhist learning university in the Pala period, that is 8th to 12th centuries AD. So Odantapuri was considered the second oldest of India's universities. It is situated in Magadha, now in Bihar. So the first Pala emperor Gopala in the 8th century founded this university. Again, Muhammad Khilji, the Ali Bakhtiar Muhammad Khilji, destroyed this university around 1193. Next is Mithila University. So in the Upanishad age, Mithila became a prominent seat of Brahmanical education. See here, till now, almost all the first top 5 were focusing on the Buddhism. Now this particular Mithila University is focusing on the Brahmanical education. It was named Videha. So it continued with its glory from Raja Janak to, that is Raja Janak, Janagar. That Midalayan Mannan. I think this somewhat relates to the Ramayana. So this was from the Raja Janak to Buddhist period. Then this particular place was later produced devotees of Lord Krishna. So the famous poets Vidyapati and Jaidev were born here. So where it is located? It is located in northern Bihar. Even till the period of Emperor Akbar, it continued to flourish as an important center for education and culture. So what it is known for? It is known for specializing in Nyaya Shastra, logic. We have already seen in the topics, no? So that is Nyaya Shastra. Then Vedic literature, Tarka, that is Tarka, Targam in Tamil. Then Mimamsa. Then the famous scholars are Vachaspati, Mishra and Udayanacharya. All these guys were from the Mithila University, Midhilayan Mannan, like that it was represented in the Ramayana text. Then Ujjain University. This is located in the Madhya Pradesh. So it is mainly famous for astronomy and mathematics. The famous scholars from that particular university was Varahamira and Brahmagupta. Then lastly, Kanchi University. It is located in Tamil Nadu, Kanjipuram. So this particular more like actually here to some extent, not exactly this Mithila and all these things, no, they were not exactly universities, but they were more like learning centers. So here these people were specialized in Hindu philosophy, again the Nyaya, logic, grammar, and then Vedic studies and Saivism. See here, this is the main thing. In the southern parts of India, earlier it was more likely Saivism or Vaishnavism. These people were the two different religions at that time. Now only all these things are clubbed into one thing and formed as a Hindu religion. So that's how this is going on. So these are the different universities. Not only this, there are so many other universities are there. I have not included due to time constraints. So now moving on to the another part, that is post-independence education in India. So after independence, how our education system has evolved or developed. So post-independence education in India has been a pivotal tool for societal transformation and then economic development and nation building. So with the adoption of a democratic framework, we have embarked on a journey to democratize education and ensure equitable access for all citizens. So the period following independence witnessed significant reforms and initiatives aimed at expanding educational opportunities, fostering inclusivity and promoting holistic development. So suddenly I get one main example around the 60s to 70s in Tamil Nadu. Midday meal scheme was introduced by then CM Mr. Kamaraj. So he introduced midday meal scheme, which made many students to come for the school and then they take up the learning process. So like that, so many things were implemented in and around the country and made so many educational reforms for the betterment of the children and holistic inclusive of the whole different set of people. Now we are going into the year-wise categorization. So first, foundations laid in early years, that is from since we are talking about post-independence, we are taking 1947 to 1960. So first thing, University Education Commission, that is 48-49 under Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. So this was formed. What it recommended was, the first thing, autonomy of universities, and then emphasis on research and scientific education, then mainly creation of UGC. So because of this particular University Education Commission, establishment of University Grants Commission, which is now we are having UGC, it was formed in 1953 and formalized in 1956. So what the main role was it? It is to coordinate, determine and maintain standards of teaching, examination and research. So the focus were given to expansion of universities and colleges, emphasis on science and technology, then strengthening general education with a focus on liberal arts and culture. So these are the earlier foundations laid there. Now development of research and national institutions. Here the key events are Education Commission in 1964 to 1966, that is led by Dr. D.S. Kothari. So there they formed a blueprint for long-term reforms, that is education and national development. What they recommended, 6% of GDP for education. Then strengthening postgraduate education. This one they again recommended integration of research with teaching. At this time only they created, focusing mainly on the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They are inspired from that. They have created IITs, IIMs, AIMs, IISC and CSIR labs. Why they did this means to promote excellence in engineering, management, medical science and scientific research. So this led to the introduction of 5-year plans, emphasized educational planning. Now moving on to the mass expansion and democratization, that is in 1980 to 2000. The highlights were rapid expansion of higher education institutions and including state universities and colleges. During this period only so many universities were formed. Then National Policy on Education, NPE, 1986 was proposed. It emphasized on the equity and access to education, role of research in national development and autonomy of institutions. So this prompted to the launch of Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU, in 1985, promoted open and distance education. Then one more main factor, growth of deemed to be universities and private institutions were formed. The research support, here only UGC began providing major and minor research projects, junior and senior research fellowships, that is JRF and SRF. So at this time period only, they started to provide funds. The UGC started to provide funds for the research. Now, liberalization era and global integration. See here the year 2000 to 2015. So the main key developments were liberalization of economy influenced education privatization, then growth of private universities, deemed universities and foreign collaborations. So reforms were made in the NAAC, that is National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and then NBA, National Board of Accreditation. So then establishment of National Knowledge Commission in 2005. This particular commission recommended restructuring of research and innovation systems. At the same time, they started to make digital initiatives. The first is NPTEL, and then InfliGNet, eShodh Sindhu, ePG Pathshala and Shodh Ganga. These were launched. Then support for ICT enabled research and learning were given. So these are the liberalization era and global integration. Then lastly, new education policy era and innovation drive, that is 2015 to present date, till date. So the transformative steps, what they did is NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework, launched in 2015. Then NEP, already it was NPE, National Policy on Education. This is National Educational Policy, NEP 2020. So here, this particular NEP proposed multidisciplinary education, emphasis on research and innovation, then NRF, National Research Foundation, to fund and coordinate research, and lastly, holistic and flexible curriculum with emphasis on critical thinking. Here also, they tried to push the digital forum into a large scale. First was Swayam, Diksha, then virtual labs. All these digital initiatives were further propagated and propaganda, it is made into a propaganda. Then NAD, that is National Academic Depository for Secure Degree Storage. This one was launched. So these are the year-wise development or era-wise development of our own Indian education system post-independence. So that's all guys for today's class. I hope I have not over jammed with anything. So these are the bibliographies. Thank you.